Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to try that again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Graduates, please be seated. I'm Don Tapscott, and I'm the Chancellor and a proud graduate of this wonderful institution. And like you graduates, I chose the road less traveled, and for me it has made all the difference. And a river has run through it as well. This is a very special day for everyone here, and I'm delighted to share it with you, and I really mean that. So heartfelt congratulations to all of our graduates on reaching this important milestone. I now declare Convocation open.
Good morning. My name is, good morning. It's a great audience, wow. My name is Leo Groark. I'm the 8th President and Vice Chancellor of Trent University, and it's my honor and privilege to welcome everyone here today. I want to begin, as we always begin at Trent University, by respectfully acknowledging that we are on the treaty and traditional land of the Mississauga Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to First Peoples for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings. I did want to begin by saying something about the convocation ceremony. In one way, it's a very formal ceremony that officially recognizes the successful completion of the degrees of our graduates. At the same time, and I suppose from that point of view, it's a kind of solemn and serious occasion, but I do want to say to you that a convocation is intended to be a celebration. It's a party. With that in mind, and with all the authority invested in me as president of this institution, I want to give the audience permission to be loud. That's great, okay? Applaud, shout. For parents in the audience, I wanted to give you special permission to embarrass your children as they come across the stage. I'm pleased to welcome our graduates, parents, and families, spouses, partners, and friends to today's ceremony. I know that some of you come from close by, some from across Canada, and some from around the world. If you are here today, you are part of the Trent family, and also I would say if you're watching this ceremony on the World Wide Web. Let me end my welcome by saying to our graduates that today you are not going to be leaving the Trent community, but rather extending your deep connections to Trent as you join a prestigious alumni family which includes famous authors, scientists, artists, religious and political leaders, as well as teachers, researchers, medical practitioners, social workers, and all around good citizens. I believe that Trent has prepared you well for the exciting and challenging adventures that lie ahead. This is your moment. This is your day. Enjoy it as a special time to imagine your future and create a life of consequence that is uniquely your own. It's now my pleasure to introduce an individual whose remarkable contributions will be recognized with an honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Dr. Cindy Blackstock is a member of the Gitxsan First Nation. Cindy told me this morning, I want to share this with you, that means roughly people of the river, people of the mist. And Cindy, that seems so appropriate, beside the river, and we may have mist before this ceremony is over. She's the Executive Director of the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society of Canada. An internationally recognized activist and scholar, she has been described as, quote, the greatest civil rights heroine in our country. Oh, but there's more, lots more. A moral voice and, quote, one of Canada's foremost spokesperson for the rights of First Nations children. Throughout her 25 career in social work, Dr. Blackstock has helped address modern-day issues faced by First Nations children and youth. As the creator of Touchstones of Hope, a process that unites public child welfare practitioners and members of First Nations communities, Dr. Blackstock is creating a large reconciliation movement. In 2007, Dr. Blackstock, along with the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society of Canada and the Assembly of First Nations, launched a discrimination complaint arguing that services for reserve-based children were systematically underfunded. Hailed as a landmark case, the 2016 ruling by the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal ordered the Government of Canada to end discriminatory practices. In 2017, Amnesty International awarded Canada's Indigenous Rights Movement its Ambassador of Conscience Award. Dr. Blackstock was included as a representative of Canada's Indigenous peoples. Her work has received recognition from the Nobel Women's Initiative, the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation, Inspire, the Indigenous Bar Association, the Law Society of Upper Canada, and more. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you, for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Cindy Blackstock. Congratulations, Dr. Blackstock. It's now my privilege to invite you to address Convocation. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. What a great honor to stand on the territories of the Mississauga Anishinaabe on this, one of the most important days of your life. Congratulations, graduates. Superheroes are cool again, and I'm old enough to know when they were cool the first time. And there's never been a time when the world needed superheroes like social workers and sociologists and psychologists than ever before. And graduates, although you're getting your diploma today, I bet you didn't know that these capes were superhero capes too, because the world needs you. As men of moral cowardice, cloaked as strong men, are spreading the seeds of intolerance, they're spreading the seeds of division, they're spreading the seeds of complacency around the world. We need to stand as professionals in the wind of injustice, in the winds of discrimination. And as the old poem says, when they are trembling in their palaces, we will be singing in the prisons. Or to put a more contemporary spin on it, when they are trembling in the White House, we will be singing on the borders for justice with those who are fleeing persecution. It is not easy to be morally courageous, to speak up when others want you to be silent, to stand up when others want you to sit down. And we all need our heroes to look up to, and I know many of yours are in this audience or in the spirit world looking down on you. And one of mine was on page 55 of Trent Professor John Malloy's epic book, A National Crime on Residential Schools. In 1907, blazing the front headline of the Evening Citizen newspaper, now the Ottawa Citizen, read a headline, "Schools Aid White Plague." It told the story of the Chief Medical Health Officer of the Department of Indian Affairs, Dr. Peter Henderson Bryce's findings. 25% of the children in residential schools were dying. 48% if you track them over 3 years. And as Dr. Bryce said, medical science knows just what to do. He had noticed that healthcare funding for First Nations was a third less than just the population of Ottawa alone. He said, equalize out the healthcare funding. Stop doing things like putting sick kids in with healthy kids, making sure the kids are not starving to death, that they're properly nourished and not exhausted from servitude. Do those things, Dr. Bryce told the Canadian government, and you could save many lives. The Canadian government refused those reforms. It would have cost $15,000 out of a budget exceeding $100 million. But Dr. Bryce decided not to be silent, and his report appeared on the front page of the Evening Citizen. Now, no one knows for sure who leaked it, but he is a leading suspect. And Canada thought so too, and they began to persecute Dr. Bryce, but he did not remain silent. And in 1921, he's pushed out of the public service, but even then, he walks into James Hope and Sons with a manuscript called A National Crime to document Canada's horrors to First Nations children and to compel all of us, the people of the period, to do better. Some of the people did do better and spoke out, including Samuel Hume Lake, a lawyer, then later a judge, who said that in that Canada failed to obviate the preventable causes of death, it brought itself into unpleasant nearness with manslaughter. Now, I came to see Dr. Bryce, I guess in person, the day before Prime Minister Harper issued the apology for residential schools. I had realized just on that day, thanks to Google, he was buried just 1.5 kilometers away from where I live in Ottawa. And when I found that out, I walked to the Byward Market. I bought a bouquet of brightly colored daisies because they represented the joy and the blessing of those children. And I walked into the cemetery, and even though I'm First Nations, I really suck at navigation. But this is the National Cemetery, and you know, there's lots of rich people buried there, so they have those huge memorials, right? Now, I'm not a religious person, but I don't think that helps. And it's always puzzled me about why they build them so high. But then an elder sorted me out and said, Cindy, it's to weigh them down. So I knew Dr. Bryce would have a modest memorial, and there he was. I went there to thank him for everything that he had tried to do. And I told him about the human rights complaint that we had filed a year earlier, and I promised him I would be back when the kids won. It took 9 years to fulfill that promise, but in January of 2016, on a very cold day, I made my way down to see Dr. Bryce, and he was the first person to learn about the ruling that the kids had finally won and justice was on the horizon. Another thing that's happened is Dr. Bryce was, for all of his courage for many years, was erased from Canadian history. And the man who said no, Duncan Campbell Scott, was lauded for his moral cowardice and, in fact, his loyalty, if you will, to the Canadian government. But even that's been set right over the edges of time. And now there is a historical plaque acknowledging Dr. Bryce in Beechwood Cemetery, and it's the most visited grave by children to go there to honor him. And what about Duncan Campbell Scott? Well, a little bit of justice came there too. Not only did the Truth and Reconciliation Commission find his works to have amounted to cultural genocide, but his old office still stands on Spark Street. And a few years ago, some new tenants walked up with some new boxes. It was from the Aboriginal People's Television Network. It was their first bureau. So you're about to enter into the world, but know that wherever darkness lives, it can be defeated by love and light. And our job as social workers, as sociologists and psychologists, is not to fear the darkness. Even in the night sky, it's pierced through by the brightness of the stars. And we must fill the skies, the darkest skies, wherever they exist, with nothing but love and light, just like Dr. Bryce did. And one day, there will be all kinds of bright flowers, and we will raise a generation together of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit children who never have to recover from their childhoods, and a generation of non-Indigenous people who never have to say they're sorry. I'm so honored to be in your company. I thank you, President and Chancellor, and all of you for this great honor to be a part of the Trent community. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Dr. Blackstock. Mr. Chancellor, Professor Kimberly Calderwood, the Director of the Department of Social Work, will now present candidates for degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Graduands, as Professor Calderwood reads your names, you will cross the stage, be congratulated by the Chancellor, then by myself, then by then by the honorary degree recipient, and then by Jess Grover, the president of the Alumni Association.
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Social Work in the Honors Program, candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate has duly declared worthy of the honor, that they may receive the degree at your hands. Emily Kate Algar. Brittany Taylor May Austin. Avery Bell. Thomas Baumeister. Aaron Brooke. Madison Nicole Brownlee. Michaela Chartrand. Rachel Kernier. Rebecca Kernier. Jake Kavanaugh Dean. Kathleen Elizabeth Ferlani. Emily Shannon Gagofsky. Camille Garzon. Heather Ann Johnston. Jenny Mae Savanaugh. Brittany Raquel Krawchuk. Kayla Jensen Rose Ladder. Amy Elizabeth Mason. Haley Sharon Maynard. Crystal Moar. Abigail Catherine Monkman. Meredith Ann Parkinson. Jennifer Patterson. Ashley Pine. Darcy Reed. Carly Ann Schroeder. Rayanne Camille Telfer. Brianna May Tully. Lauren Vore. Tracy Jacqueline Wadniski. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Social Work degrees in the Honors Program. Mr. Chancellor, Professor Mark Skinner, Acting Dean of Arts and Science in the Social Sciences, will now present candidates for all degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the Honours Program candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate has duly declared worthy of the honour that they may receive degree at your hands. Natalie Blanche Albert. Caitlin Amida. Stephen Andrews. Yelena Avramovich. Cassandra Cecilia Baez. Destiny Bailey. Annie Baxter. Samantha Benson. Leah Berger. Jocelyn Blake. Hannah Bradley. Megan Butler. Jamie Chapman. Crystal Chiralo. Austin Condi Doucette. Thank you. Helena Delgarno. Chloe Devlin. Claire Dussom. Samantha Fillion. Tara Funston. Danielle Galina. Madeline Gingras. Thank you. Brandon Gonzalez. Colin Henning. Abigail Hubble. Lindsay Hunter. Meg Johnston. Charlie Caraker. Danielle Kerr. Mia Korhonen. Katie Cott. Melody Lavoie. Brett LeBlanc. Brittany LeBlanc. Caitlin LeBlanc. Caitlin Liu. Rachel Lovelace. Lauren Luxton. Elizabeth McDonald. Hillary Marshall.
Marina Ellen Matheson. Ellen, yeah, Matheson.
Lorena Ellen Matheson. Emilia Matina.
Sam Fion.
Sam C.L. McCallis. Sarah Catherine Michaels. Renata Moldovan. Amanda May Moore. Emily Mullins. Catherine Ann Omond. Samantha Lee Peters. Jessica Emily Lorraine Phillips. Lauren Margaret Phillips. Thomas Louis Pigeot. Shannon Marie Queen. Congratulations. Ayush Sashdev. Taylor Page Sanderson. Jillian Shoesmith. Ashley Taylor St. Croix. Marissa Chelsea Taylor. Rachel Sweeney. JC Lynn Upton. Michelle Kathleen Vautour. Jordan Elizabeth Wark. Caitlin Irene Wilkes. Haley Elizabeth Wilson. Sarah Martha Vlodek. Lauren Elizabeth Young. Mohammed Youssef. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Arts degrees in the Honours Program. Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Honours Program, candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate has duly declared worthy of the honour that they may receive the degree at your hands. Mona Abdi. Cole Ainsley. Vanessa Aki. Maya Batnagar. Daria Bragar. Megan Lisa Rose Brazo. Rachel Nicole Callahan. Larissa Cameron. Jamie Ellen Camaras. Amanda Louise Carlisle. Chantel Louise Mary Cole. Lindsay Taylor Dart. Nicole Jasmine Dongas. Madeline Claire Gilchrist. Simon Godin. Samal Iftikhar. Kadir Berka Iskasen. Darlene Gladys Kuipers. Kiernan Bedford Lewis. Christian Liu. Kristen Julia Lott. Kaylee Noel McDonald. Quinn Brown Masterson. Chrysalie Dawn McGinnis. Claire Metcalf. Christina Jean Forbes Neerland. Cassidy Ray Roberts. Amy Smith. Tyler James Waddell. Courtney Wilson. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Science degrees in the Honours Program. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the General Program candidates whose names will be read, whom the Senate has duly declared worthy of the honour that they may receive the degree at your hands. Gracie Rose Amy. Sean William Espijo Aguar. Abigail Ankapon Mensa. Stanley Leo Oje. Carolyn Bartose. Cassidy Jade Buskey. P. Derek Carter. Dean Lushman Singh. Caitlin Elizabeth Elliott. Destiny Freeman. Caitlin Kemp. Megan G. Kuzak. Ainsley Peyton Lawson. James Lawson. Tiana Rose Lee. Chantal Celeste Lozier. Caitlin Mabi. Lindsay McKinnon. Jessica Margaret McComb. Paige Maureen Love McCowan. Stephen Norman McElhenney. Cassidy Moore. Alexander Nelson. Allison Neville. Graham William Neville. Mackenzie Donna Smith. Kelsey Johanna Taylor. Nicole Zenner. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Arts degrees in the general program. Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present for the degree of Bachelor of Science in the general program candidates whose names will be read, whom Sunit has declared worthy of the honor that they may receive the degree at your hands. Sarah Elizabeth Beattie. Stephanie Megan Blasioli. Emily Rose Brachette. Cindy Yvonne Campos. Elizabeth Simbalak. Lauren Elizabeth Donia. Ashley Jean Gauthier. Alyssa Kirkbride. Shakita Lake. Shelby Diane McMeekin. Allison Moore. Shirley Anastasia Noonan. Alexandra Pudlow. Victoria Stewart. Nicholas Earl St. John. Zachary Adrian Nicholas Wienendahl. Madison Wood. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of Bachelor of Science degrees in the general program. Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to confer degrees and diplomas in absentia on candidates whose names are before you and who are unable to be with us today. Mr. Chancellor, Professor David Newhouse will now introduce the honor song.
Before all words can be spoken, we bring greetings to all of creation. We give thanks for the rising of the sun and the light and warmth that it brings. And we give thanks for another day of life. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, graduates. In the custom of the first peoples of this land, we offer the sound of the drum and our voices to honor our mother, the earth. We send our profound and deepest thanks to all of creation. We greet the world with humility and embrace the richness, diversity, and wonder that is life. In the Anishinaabe teachings, the sound of the drum represents the original sound of the universe. The heartbeat of creation reverberates still throughout the universe and infuses our being with life. We sound the drum to connect us with all of creation, to honor and celebrate life, and to remember to live with humility and kindness among all living beings. We offer these words of praise for those who are graduating this day. We offer these words of thanksgiving to those who have made this accomplishment possible. We offer these words of respect and honor to those who have come before us and who have brought dignity to our lives. We offer these words to remind us to live with the seven grandfathers, seven grandmothers' teachings, to live with respect, kindness, honesty, sharing, courage, and strength. We offer this song to honor the accomplishments of Cindy Blackstock. We honor her outstanding contribution to the welfare of children and the decolonization of Canada. We offer this sound to accompany all of you on your travels. May you travel well, and may your lives be filled with grace and dignity. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, graduates, I have the pleasure of presenting Unity, and may I ask you to stand for the honor song. Unity will sing For the Children. And thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Unity, for the honor song. We tend to refer to Unity around here as the house band. They're very committed and very much appreciated. As we come to the end of the ceremony, I did want to take some time to thank some other people for their role in Convocation. And What I try to do at every convocation is recognize some individual who makes convocation happen. And I will say convocation is a very, excuse me, very complicated event and ceremony. We have 10 convocations at Trent University this year, and it's a veritable army of people that make it possible. So I would like to thank them, but thank them by picking out one person in particular that we should recognize. And this morning I thought I would recognize Dave Marshall. I'm not sure if he's here. He might be in the back room. I want to explain what he does for Convocation. So Dave Marshall is a senior demonstrator in physics and astronomy. By the way, he has won an Excellence in Teaching award, but at Convocation, he's better known as the weatherman. So we try to have as many convocations outdoors as possible, and we always have a judgment call about an hour before convocation. Dave Marshall has been at Trent for 30 years. He's retiring now, and he has been the official weatherman for Convocation. I'd ask for a warm round of applause to thank him for all he's done for us. I'd now like to ask the graduates to stand for a moment and help me with another thank you, which is part of our tradition at Trent. And I would note that you have received your degrees because of what you have done. This is your accomplishment, but your accomplishment has been possible because you've got a support network behind you. It's probably your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your spouses. They probably have helped you financially at times. Some of them are probably very glad that that's going to end now, that you have your degree. Okay. You know, I'm a parent too. I've been there, okay? I get it. But I think more importantly, they probably helped you emotionally when you needed a support network, because we all do at some time or other. So I would like the audience to remain sitting, and I'd like the graduates to give a warm round of applause to thank their support network that's here today. I think it's also tradition at Trent to say, that's not loud enough. Could we please have a louder round of applause for your support network? Thank you. Please be seated. Let me note that there will be a reception in the atrium of the Student Center. That's the building behind us here following the ceremony. The procession will leave the stage following the singing of O Canada, and at that point I would ask you to remain standing if you are able until the procession has departed. Mr. Chancellor, I now call upon you to dismiss Convocation.
Well, thank you all, this most enthusiastic and ebullient class and audience, for being with us here today. And graduates, I hope that you will look back on this day with fondness, not just as the end of a stage in your life, but as the beginning of a whole new chapter. And because of, we honored Dr. Cindy Blackstock today, and the theme of today's convocation, I would like to give a special shout out to Unity. I've been Chancellor for 6 years, and every year, many convocations. And we hear from them at every one, and I'm pretty sure that every time it's a different song. It's truly extraordinary, and it is a highlight of every convocation for me. So could we bring it on for Unity? Now, closing remarks like this are designed to inspire the graduating class and give them some helpful ideas for the future. So let me dispense with that task quickly. Graduates, listen up. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Good things come to those who wait, and what doesn't kill you can only make you stronger. Turn lemons into lemonade. And remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Oh man, that is so beautiful. And overall, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll end up in the stars. On a little more practical note, buy a good suit or a business dress, and make sure you have good shoes. Women, handbag, hello. It's all about the accessories. Brush your teeth and floss. I can't overestimate the importance of flossing. And do increase, as you know, the proportion of vegetables in your diet. And finally, I want you to write this one down, okay? Do not forget this. Please, never show up at a job interview with your parents there to answer the questions, okay? There, that about sums it up. Are we done? Any questions? Seriously, I'm not going to pass along any career advice for you because all the research and the data shows that you will have successful careers. And you have, at Trent, acquired skills and knowledge you need to get going, but more important, you've acquired capability, the ability to think critically, to research, to put things in context, to write, to collaborate, to see the big picture. And maybe most important, you've acquired a passion for learning, which is critical because you will learn throughout your life in the sense that you will reinvent your entire knowledge base multiple times throughout life. So in some ways, it's not what you know when you graduate that counts. It's what you're able to do. And Trent has set you up pretty well. Now, so as you leave this wonderful venue, and thank you, Mother Nature, for shining down on us today, do live long and prosper, as Spock would say. Go ahead, build a prosperous life for yourselves and your families. But let me conclude that humanity needs more of you. You see, the world you're entering is full of opportunity, but there are many challenges and many injustices to right. And your generation is being called upon to ensure that the smaller world that your children and grandchildren inherit is a better one, that it's prosperous, that it's sustainable, and that it's fair and just, and there's justice for everyone. To protect our environment and our species, you'll need to participate in the reindustrialization of the earth. And each of you will need to step up to participate in perhaps what is one of the greatest transformations ever. Now, I'm not suggesting that you all go work for an NGO or become a candidate for leader of the world or something like that, but rather each of you will have a role to play in this historic transformation. And having chosen social work, you've pretty much set yourself up to do that because everybody in this graduating class cares, and that's a wonderful thing. So you will play a role in your profession and as a worker, as an entrepreneur, and some of you will be that, as a business executive, an educator, a researcher, a public sector manager. Some of you will be politicians, social innovators, or parent. And my hope is that you will teach your children well, and that you will live a principled life of consequence. And if you want an exemplar, look to Dr. Cindy Blackstock as an example. You know, she said, it's not easy to stand up for justice, but we need to stand up. And she's a great inspiration to all of us. Can you leave a legacy like Dr. Bryce? And no doubt Dr. Blackstock herself will lead. Yesterday, I conferred an honorary doctorate on Michael Cook, the longtime editor of the Toronto Star and now the head of Journalists for Human Rights. And he called to the graduates. He said, 30 years from now, if you come back to a convocation and you look back on your life, will you have been on the right side of history? And I have great confidence that all of you will be able to answer that right. Now, another way to be consequential is a real simple one. Exercise your precious right to vote. Your generation is not voting. And it's not because you don't care. And I'm not sure what the reason is, but we need to fix this because your generation is the biggest voting bloc now. You can decide who will lead us in this country and in many other countries. So changing the world is your opportunity. It starts with such a simple thing. Promise me that you will vote in every election, municipal, provincial, and federal, for those of you from Canada and similarly elsewhere, for the rest of your life. Will you do that, please? Thank you. One more thought. When I graduated from Trent, I lost contact with the university for a long time. And over the years, I started thinking, maybe I'll get involved. And in hindsight, it was a mistake that I had made, and I hope that you don't make the same mistake. I started to get involved, not out of a sense of obligation, but sort of as an opportunity, thinking about how this precious little institution on the Otonabee River is worth it, is worth defending and advancing and cherishing. And I became involved in this institution. It's given me great satisfaction. And another thing that it's done is it's helped me be part of this global community that President Gork talked about. You see, you're leaving Trent in one sense, but in another, I hope you'll view it as you're not leaving Trent. You're becoming engaged in a broader community, and we're all now alumni. So again, congratulations to all of you. Good luck. Dream big. Don't just make a living, make your mark, as Michael Cook said. Be bold, be consequential, and change the world. Convocation is now dismissed. Thank you.